Hi, I'm Paul Malchow, one of the creators and designers of Union City Alliance, a cooperative deck-building board game. And I'm here to talk to you about city cards, one of the many unique and awesome aspects of Union City Alliance. City cards are found on individual map panels throughout the board. As you know, map panels make up the board of any game of Union City Alliance. Players start on a starting panel, like the Hero HQ, but over the course of their turns, will explore the city, adding new map panels to the board one at a time, like the Hades Club or the Super Mall. And as the board gets built, almost every one of these new map panels will feature a city card. So, what's a city card? City cards are a series of threats, adversaries, but most of all, opportunities for the heroes. City cards represent the random, crazy, over-the-top things that are going on in everyday life around Union City that are not directly connected with the supervillain you're fighting. While sometimes they will help and sometimes they will hamper that supervillain's plot, often they're completely incidental, and how the superheroes choose to deal with them, why and when, is in your hands. Generally, there are two different kinds of city cards, either enemies or challenges. So, let's start with a couple city enemies that might come out. Our first is bobbles, bangles, and beads. Like any enemy, they have stamina, which dictates how much damage they can take before they're defeated. They also have a fight score that dictates how much damage they deal to the hero when they assault them, and a threat score, which dictates when they threaten on a hero's threat phase and if they move to engage that hero. That means that if it is a hero's threat phase and they are further than 2 panels away from bobbles, bangles, and beads, bobbles, bangles, and beads can be totally ignored for that threat phase. Only if bobbles, bangles, and beads are within range 1 of a hero on their threat phase will those felonious flappers potentially move if they need to, and then assault that hero. When an enemy card assaults a hero, they deal damage equal to their fight. At that point, heroes can trigger gambits like normal and potentially avoid that damage, but on a hero's threat phase, every enemy that is in range will assault. Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads also have a debut text. This is not uncommon to see on enemies of all sorts, whether they are from the city deck or a villain's deck. Debut is triggered as soon as that enemy enters the board, and usually will dictate placement of that card. For example, Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads have Lindy Hop, which means they move to another panel in range 1. Practically speaking, if your hero doesn't have the speed to pursue them or get away, on the threat phase, Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads will come back and assault them, dealing a whopping 3 damage. Watch out, but once your heroes defeat Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads, you are well rewarded for the resources you've had to spend and the damage you may have been dealt. When you defeat Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads, or any enemy, you trigger their defeat mechanic. In the case of this card, it says 2 heroes each gain 3 heroism. That's a lot of heroism, especially having to only deal 3 damage. If you have the speed and the might on your turn when Bobbles, Bangles, and Beads appear, they're no threat for a well-prepared hero. However, ignore them at your peril, because this kind of damage will really add up quickly. And that's the overall idea on many city enemies. While they are menacing, they're within the hero's ability to take care of, and the rewards from saving the city from these kinds of fiends and perils are essential to winning any game. Let's look at the Red Leech, for example. This parasitic Soviet spy has 6 stamina, 2 fight, and 0 threat. 0 threat means that this enemy will only threaten if a hero is on the same panel as it on their threat phase. While Red Leech has a defeat mechanic, much like Bobbles and Beads, he also has a unique mechanic, Bloodsucker, allowing him to heal when heroes take damage that was dealt by him. So don't get caught in an extended combat with this monster. However, once you defeat it, you can destroy a card in your play area or discard pile and gain 3 Valor. That goes a long way towards improving your deck and getting you new cards or heroism. It's not uncommon for city enemies like American Patriot X to combine unique mechanics as well as debut and defeat mechanics. This White Fist Sniper has 3 stamina, a fight of issue, meaning he is more and more difficult the later in the game it is, and a threat of 2, giving him huge coverage on the board. Not only that, but the sharpshooter mechanic says when this threatens, it does not move, but it still assaults, effectively making the American Patriot X a ranged combatant. His debut, Sniper's Nest, sets him up on the hero HQ, giving him a central location from which to take his pot shots. But when you defeat him, another hero draws 3 cards and any hero gains 3 heroism. The defeat rewards on city enemies scale with how dire a threat that enemy is. This is also true of the challenges you'll find throughout the city. However, unlike enemies, some are not antagonistic at all. For example, Superhero Selfie is just something you can do while you're out and about in the city. Finding this means that you need to exert speed, but you gain a potent overcome from it. Unlike many villain challenges, there's no detrimental effect to this, meaning heroes can leave it on the panel until they're ready to use it. Like any challenge, it has a difficulty, located up here. The difficulty is how many times heroes need to successfully confront a challenge before it is overcome. The confront score is noted on the right-hand column of every challenge, as well as whether that challenge pertains to speed or valor. Because the difficulty on Superhero Selfie is only 1, a hero needs only confront it once in order to successfully overcome this card, removing it from the board and allowing that hero to gain heroism equal to the cost of a union card in their play area or discard pile. Other ways that city challenges can aid heroes include Phone Booth, a Valor challenge. While this one is certainly more difficult to confront with its 4 Valor cost, the Overcome allows the heroes to put a card that costs 4 or less from any panel into any hero's hand. That allows for huge versatility and deck crafting that's second to none in the middle of a turn. But not all city challenges are making a meme or calling a friend. Some have serious consequences for the heroes. For example, Escape Prisoners is a Valor challenge with a difficulty of 2 and a confront of 3. This card has a Citywide Alert, meaning that it potentially applies to all panels on the board, and of course, it has an Overcome. This challenge is a much bigger threat to our heroes and takes much more to get over. That's why it, like many city cards, is an issue 2 exclusive. This means that this card can't come out until later in the game. If you get an issue 2 exclusive card, and you're still in issue 1 of the game, this card goes onto the bottom of the city deck, and a new city card comes out in place of it. But like all city cards, these issue 2 exclusive rewards scale with their difficulty. For example, when you round up the escaped prisoners, each hero may destroy a card in their hand, play area, or discard pile. That kind of destructive ability is second to none, and one the heroes will be all too glad to utilize in their fight against the supervillain. Finally, every game can be customized by adding a scenario to the city deck. This represents unique circumstances, or adversaries, or conditions on the ground that affect the gameplay by making up half of the city deck. One of our first scenarios in the Heroes Unite base game is the Street Pirates. These asphalt buccaneers are led by Captain Ironbeard, the cybernetic skipper. He's also an issue 2 exclusive with 6 stamina, 3 fight, and 1 threat. Like some enemies, he has a defensive ability that you need to take into account whenever you attack him. His motley crew prevents the first X damage dealt to this each turn, where X is the number of cards from the Street Pirate deck in play. You can tell it's from the Street Pirate deck by the icon in the lower right corner. Scenarios like any city cards have big bonuses for being defeated, like Captain Ironbeard allowing you to destroy a card in your play area or discard pile, and then a hero trains for a solo card exerting no heroism. That's powering up in 2 different ways, and can potentially be split by multiple heroes, upping your teamwork for the game. Players will find more and more city cards as they explore the board every game of Union City Alliance, giving them a feel for this unique city and superhero setting, as well as big rewards and versatile gameplay every game. So, go check out our Tabletop Simulator mod, download it right now for free, and play a game of Union City Alliance so you can see more of these awesome city cards and get a feel for this game. Watch our other videos, tutorials like Hero Card Anatomy, or our how to play and setup tutorials, and be sure to back us on Kickstarter to get this awesome game into your hands as soon as we can. Thanks, and we'll see you in Union City, heroes.